Good morning, children. This is your English class. Today, we are going to discuss about lesson 3, that is two stories about flying. In this class, we will discuss part 1, his first flight, written by Liam Flaherty. Before you read this lesson, you should know, since the earliest times, humans have dreamed of conquering the skies. Here are two stories about flying. So, we are going to discuss part 1. A young seagull is afraid to fly. How does he conquer his fear? Seagull is a seabird. First of all, you should know the about characters of this story. First is a young seagull. Others are parents of seagull. The young seagull has two brothers and a sister. This story is about a young seagull who is afraid to fly. He observes all his siblings take their first flight, but he cannot get himself to take the plunge. He feels that his wings will never support him to fly into the sky. And so he hesitates each time he runs to the brink of the ledge. Brink is Hedge. Ledge is a narrow horizontal shelf. However, his mother's ingenuity empowers him to soar into the boundless skies with the vast expanse of the sea stretched down beneath him. The lesson explicitly explains his fears and doubts initially and his exhilarated feelings as he finally soars into the skies with his family beside him. Dear children, we should go through this lesson. His first flight. The word his has been used for the young seagull. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. Ledge is a narrow horizontal shelf projecting from a wall or a cliff. The meaning has been written. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge. Plunge is dive, D-I-V-E, which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly, upbraiding him. Upbraiding is scolding, threatening to let him starve on his leg unless he flew away, but for the life of him, he could not move. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to scheme. Scheme is to move lightly just above a surface. Here, surface is water, the waves, and how to dive for fish. He had, in fact, seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it. Herring is a soft, fin sea fish. Standing on a rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle. Cackle is a kind of sound produced by seagulls. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing means burning on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing. Dozing is feeling sleepy, with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau. Hump is high place. Her white breast thrust forward. Now and again she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened him for the young seagull who was unable to fly. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to whet is to sharpen it. Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Go, cool, ah, she screamed back derisively, derisively in a manner showing someone that she or he is stupid. But he kept calling plaintively. Plaintively is sorrowfully. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into a space. Then a monstrous terror seized him, and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring, means he was flying upwards gradually, downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. The word dizzy is an uncomfortable feeling of spinning around and losing one's balance. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Ga, 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 call, ah. His mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him, screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly and commended is praised, praised, praised himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him with little ridges. Ridges are raised lines moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. His parents and his brothers and sisters had landed on the screen flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning. Beckoning is signaling to him, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise. Exhausted, exhausted is tired by the strange exercise. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. He was floating on it, and around him, his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dog fish. Scraps are pieces. Dog fish is a kind of fish. He had made his first flight. Dear children, listen this lesson again and again with understanding. Read this lesson again and again so that you can easily understand this lesson. After 1 hour, I shall send you some important passages and some questions for your work. Thank you.